What if I told you that right now, today, you have more control over your brain's future than you've ever been led to believe? What if the difference between clarity and confusion, between independence and dependence, between remembering your loved one's names and struggling to recall yesterday, could begin with something as simple as what's on your plate? We are living in a time when cognitive decline is rising rapidly. Conditions like Alzheimer's disease are affecting millions of families across the world. Many people believe memory loss is inevitable, just a natural part of getting older. But what if that assumption is wrong? What if your brain is not helpless, but highly responsive? Science is revealing something extraordinary. Your brain is alive with adaptability. It is constantly rebuilding, rewiring, and protecting itself based on the signals you send it every single day. And one of the most powerful signals comes from food, not expensive supplements, not complicated routines, not extreme diets, just one simple science-backed habit that you can start today. In the next few minutes, I'm going to show you how one everyday food, something accessible, affordable, and often overlooked, has been linked to cutting dementia risk by up to 27%. I'll explain how it works inside your body, how it protects your neurons, and why consistency matters more than perfection. Stay with me, because by the end of this talk, you won't just walk away informed, you'll walk away empowered, knowing that the path to protecting your brain might be far simpler than you ever imagined. Dementia is increasing globally, and the most common form is Alzheimer's disease. This condition is not a normal part of aging. It is a progressive brain disorder that gradually destroys memory, thinking skills, and eventually the ability to carry out simple tasks. What makes this especially concerning is the speed at which cases are rising. As populations age and life expectancy increases, more people are entering the high-risk years for cognitive decline. Current global estimates suggest that tens of millions of people are living with dementia, and that number is projected to more than double in the coming decades if no major preventive strategies are implemented. The burden extends far beyond the individual. Families often become full-time caregivers, facing emotional stress, financial strain, and physical exhaustion. Healthcare systems are also under pressure, as long-term care for dementia patients requires substantial medical, residential, and social support resources. Unlike many acute illnesses, dementia can progress slowly over years, meaning the cumulative cost, economically and socially, is enormous. Biologically, dementia develops through a combination of factors including inflammation, vascular damage, oxidative stress, and abnormal protein buildup in the brain. In Alzheimer's disease specifically, beta amyloid plaques and tau tangles interfere with neuron communication and survival. However, genetics alone does not determine destiny. Research increasingly shows that lifestyle factors such as diet, physical activity, sleep quality, metabolic health, and cardiovascular function significantly influence risk. This global rise has shifted scientific focus toward prevention rather than only treatment. Since no definitive cure currently exists, reducing risk through modifiable habits has become a major public health priority. Understanding that dementia is growing worldwide highlights the urgency of everyday choices that support long-term brain resilience. Diet plays a powerful role in brain health because food is not just fuel, it is biological information that communicates directly with your cells. Every bite you take sends chemical signals that influence inflammation, blood flow, hormone balance, immune response, and even gene expression. The brain, which consumes about 20% of the body's energy, despite making up only a small percentage of body weight, is especially sensitive to these signals. Nutrients from food become the building blocks of brain cells, neurotransmitters, and protective compounds that determine how well the brain functions over time. When the diet is rich in whole, nutrient-dense foods, particularly vegetables, fruits, healthy fats, legumes, and whole grains, it supplies antioxidants that neutralize free radicals, reducing oxidative stress that can damage neurons. Anti-inflammatory compounds found in plant-based foods help calm chronic inflammation, a major contributor to neurodegenerative conditions such as Alzheimer's disease. Healthy fats, especially omega-3 fatty acids, strengthen cell membranes and support communication between brain cells. Vitamins such as B6, B12, and folate regulate homocysteine levels, which, when elevated, are associated with cognitive decline. Diet also affects the brain indirectly through vascular health. The brain relies on an intricate network of blood vessels to deliver oxygen and nutrients. Diets high in processed foods, added sugars, and unhealthy fats can damage these vessels, impairing circulation and increasing dementia risk. In contrast, diets rich in plant foods support nitric oxide production, helping blood vessels relax and maintain efficient flow. Another crucial pathway is the gut-brain axis. Fiber-rich foods nourish beneficial gut bacteria, which produce short-chain fatty acids and other metabolites that influence brain chemistry and inflammation. An unhealthy diet can disrupt this microbial balance, potentially affecting mood, memory, and cognitive resilience. Over time, consistent dietary patterns shape the brain's structure, function, and vulnerability to decline. Leafy green vegetables are strongly linked to lower dementia risk because they deliver a concentrated package of nutrients that directly support brain structure and function. Large observational studies following older adults for years have found that individuals who consume at least one serving of leafy greens daily show significantly slower cognitive decline compared to those who rarely eat them. In some analyses, the cognitive performance of regular leafy green consumers resembles that of people several years younger, suggesting a measurable protective effect against age-related brain changes. One major reason is their high concentration of vitamin K, which plays a role in the formation of sphingolipids, specialized fats that are abundant in brain cell membranes. These compounds are essential for maintaining the integrity and signaling capacity of neurons. Leafy greens are also rich in folate, a B vitamin that helps regulate homocysteine levels in the blood. Elevated homocysteine has been associated with increased brain atrophy and a higher risk of neurodegenerative conditions such as Alzheimer's disease. By helping control this compound, folate contributes to protecting delicate neural tissue. Another critical component is lutein, a carotenoid pigment that accumulates in brain tissue. Research suggests that higher lutein levels in the brain are linked to better memory, processing speed, and overall cognitive performance. Leafy greens also supply beta-carotene and vitamin C, both powerful antioxidants that reduce oxidative stress, a key driver of neuron damage over time. In addition, these vegetables contain natural nitrates that support nitric oxide production, improving blood vessel flexibility and cerebral circulation. Better blood flow ensures a steady supply of oxygen and nutrients to brain cells. Their fiber content further supports a healthy gut microbiome, influencing inflammation and brain chemistry through the gut-brain axis. Regular intake creates a cumulative effect, gradually strengthening multiple biological systems that protect cognitive health. The MIND diet, short for Mediterranean Intervention for Neurodegenerative Delay, was specifically designed to reduce the risk of cognitive decline and dementia by combining elements of the Mediterranean diet and the DASH diet. Researchers developed it after identifying foods and nutrients most consistently associated with brain protection. Unlike general healthy eating plans, this dietary pattern focuses deliberately on components shown to support memory, protect neurons, and reduce the biological drivers of neurodegeneration. The MIND diet emphasizes 10 brain-healthy food groups: leafy green vegetables, other vegetables, berries, nuts, whole grains, beans, fish, poultry, olive oil, and moderate wine consumption. At the same time, it limits foods linked to cognitive decline, including red meat, butter and stick margarine, cheese, pastries and sweets, and fried or fast food. What makes the MIND diet particularly compelling is its practicality. Even moderate adherence, not perfect compliance, has been associated with measurable cognitive benefits. Long-term studies tracking older adults have shown that those who closely follow the MIND diet experience up to a 27% lower risk of developing dementia compared to those who follow it least. Even individuals who follow it moderately still demonstrate a significant reduction in risk. Researchers believe this protective effect comes from multiple mechanisms working together: reduced inflammation, improved vascular health, lower oxidative stress, and enhanced nutrient support for brain cells. The diet's emphasis on berries provides flavonoids that protect neurons from damage. Olive oil contributes healthy monounsaturated fats that support blood vessel integrity. Whole grains and beans help regulate blood sugar, reducing metabolic stress on the brain. By limiting saturated fats and processed foods, the MIND diet reduces conditions that can contribute to neurodegenerative disorders such as Alzheimer's disease. Its structure reflects growing evidence that consistent, long-term dietary patterns, not single superfoods, create meaningful changes in brain aging trajectories. Spinach, kale, and collard greens are among the most nutrient-dense foods available, and their unique composition makes them especially valuable for brain health. These leafy greens provide a dense concentration of vitamins, minerals, and phytonutrients that directly influence cognitive performance and long-term neurological resilience. What distinguishes them is not just one single nutrient, but the powerful synergy created when their compounds work together inside the body. Spinach is particularly rich in folate, a B vitamin essential for DNA repair and methylation processes in brain cells. Adequate folate levels help regulate homocysteine, an amino acid that, when elevated, is associated with increased risk of brain atrophy and neurodegenerative diseases such as Alzheimer's disease. Kale, on the other hand, is one of the highest dietary sources of vitamin K, which supports the formation of sphingolipids, critical fats that maintain the structure and signaling function of neurons. Collard greens contribute both vitamin K and significant amounts of fiber, which supports the gut microbiome and influences brain chemistry through the gut-brain axis. All three are abundant in lutein and beta-carotene, carotenoids that act as antioxidants. Lutein is especially notable because it accumulates in brain tissue, where it is linked to improved memory, processing speed, and learning capacity. Beta-carotene helps neutralize oxidative stress, protecting neurons from cumulative damage over time. Additionally, these greens contain natural nitrates that enhance nitric oxide production, improving blood vessel flexibility and supporting steady cerebral blood flow. Magnesium and potassium present in these vegetables also help regulate nerve transmission and maintain healthy blood pressure, reducing vascular strain on the brain. Their low-calorie density combined with high nutrient concentration makes them efficient daily tools for supporting cognitive longevity. Regular consumption builds protective effects gradually, reinforcing multiple biological systems that influence how the brain ages. Vitamin K plays a critical yet often overlooked role in supporting brain cell signaling and cognitive performance. While it is widely known for its function in blood clotting, emerging research shows that vitamin K is deeply involved in maintaining the structural integrity and communication efficiency of neurons. The brain contains high concentrations of certain vitamin K-dependent compounds, highlighting its importance in neurological function. One of vitamin K's key contributions is its involvement in the synthesis of sphingolipids, a class of specialized fats that are abundant in brain cell membranes. These lipids help form the protective outer layer of neurons and are essential for transmitting signals between brain cells. Efficient signaling is fundamental for memory formation, learning processes, and coordinated thinking. When sphingolipid metabolism is disrupted, neuronal communication can weaken, potentially contributing to cognitive decline. Vitamin K also appears to influence proteins that regulate inflammation and oxidative stress in the brain. Chronic inflammation is a major driver of neurodegenerative conditions such as Alzheimer's disease. By supporting anti-inflammatory pathways, vitamin K may help protect neurons from gradual damage over time. Some studies suggest that individuals with higher dietary intake or higher blood levels of vitamin K demonstrate better episodic memory and overall cognitive performance compared to those with lower levels. Additionally, vitamin K may play a role in regulating calcium balance within brain cells. Proper calcium signaling is crucial for neurotransmitter release and synaptic plasticity, the process by which the brain adapts and forms new connections. Dysregulated calcium can contribute to neuronal dysfunction and cell death. Leafy green vegetables such as kale, spinach, and collard greens are among the richest dietary sources of vitamin K. Because vitamin K is fat-soluble, consuming these greens with healthy fats like olive oil enhances absorption. Consistent intake supports long-term maintenance of neuronal structure, communication pathways, and protective mechanisms that influence how the brain ages over decades. Lutein is a carotenoid pigment naturally found in high concentrations in leafy green vegetables, and what makes it especially remarkable is its ability to accumulate in the brain. Unlike many plant compounds that circulate briefly and are eliminated, lutein crosses the blood-brain barrier and embeds itself in neural tissue. This selective uptake suggests it serves a functional role rather than being a passive nutrient. Research has shown that higher levels of lutein in the brain are associated with better cognitive performance, particularly in areas such as memory, learning, and processing speed. One of lutein's primary functions is its antioxidant activity. The brain is highly vulnerable to oxidative stress because of its high oxygen consumption and rich lipid content. Free radicals can damage cell membranes, proteins, and DNA within neurons, gradually impairing communication between brain cells. Lutein helps neutralize these reactive molecules, reducing cumulative cellular damage that can contribute to neurodegenerative diseases such as Alzheimer's disease. Beyond its antioxidant properties, lutein also appears to support anti-inflammatory pathways. Chronic low-grade inflammation in the brain accelerates cognitive decline by disrupting synaptic function and promoting neuronal loss. By modulating inflammatory signaling, lutein may help maintain a healthier neural environment over time. Some studies using brain imaging techniques have found that individuals with higher lutein levels show more efficient neural activity during cognitive tasks, suggesting improved structural and functional integrity. Lutein is also known for its role in eye health, particularly in the retina, where it filters harmful blue light and protects photoreceptor cells. Interestingly, the retina is considered an extension of the brain, and lutein's protective effects there may mirror similar mechanisms within neural tissue. Regular consumption of lutein-rich foods such as spinach, kale, and other dark leafy greens support steady accumulation in brain tissue, contributing to resilience against age-related cognitive changes. Chronic inflammation accelerates brain aging by creating a persistent state of immune activation that gradually damages delicate neural tissue. Inflammation is a natural defense mechanism designed to protect the body from injury or infection, but when it becomes long-term and low-grade, it shifts from protective to destructive. In the brain, this prolonged inflammatory response can disrupt communication between neurons, impair synaptic plasticity, and promote the breakdown of essential cellular structures. Microglia, the immune cells of the brain, play a central role in this process. Under healthy conditions, microglia clear debris and support repair. However, when chronically activated by factors such as poor diet, metabolic dysfunction, stress, or vascular damage, they release inflammatory cytokines that can harm surrounding neurons. Over time, this inflammatory environment contributes to the accumulation of abnormal proteins and accelerates neuronal loss, both of which are hallmarks of neurodegenerative diseases such as Alzheimer's disease. Inflammation also increases oxidative stress, creating a cycle in which reactive oxygen species damage cells and further stimulate immune activation. Blood vessels in the brain can become compromised, reducing oxygen and nutrient delivery while allowing inflammatory molecules to penetrate more easily. This vascular component further amplifies cognitive decline. Leafy green vegetables contain a wide range of anti-inflammatory compounds, including flavonoids, carotenoids, vitamin C, and polyphenols. These bioactive substances help regulate inflammatory signaling pathways and reduce the production of pro-inflammatory cytokines. Additionally, the fiber in leafy greens supports a healthy gut microbiome, which plays a significant role in controlling systemic inflammation. Beneficial gut bacteria produce short-chain fatty acids that have anti-inflammatory effects throughout the body, including the brain. By regularly consuming anti-inflammatory foods, it is possible to shift the internal environment toward protection rather than degeneration. Over years and decades, this reduction in chronic inflammation can meaningfully influence the trajectory of brain aging and cognitive resilience. Improved blood flow protects cognitive function because the brain depends on a constant, well-regulated supply of oxygen and nutrients to sustain its high metabolic activity. Although it represents only about 2% of body weight, the brain consumes roughly 20% of the body's oxygen and energy. Even slight reductions in circulation can impair concentration, memory, and mental clarity. Over time, chronic vascular insufficiency can contribute to structural damage, increasing the risk of cognitive decline and neurodegenerative diseases such as Alzheimer's disease. Healthy blood vessels are flexible and responsive. They expand and contract to regulate pressure and ensure steady cerebral perfusion. One of the key molecules responsible for this flexibility is nitric oxide, a signaling compound produced by the inner lining of blood vessels. Nitric oxide relaxes the smooth muscles and vessel walls, allowing them to dilate and increase blood flow when needed. When nitric oxide production is impaired due to aging, poor diet, high blood pressure, or metabolic disease, blood vessels become stiff and less efficient, restricting nutrient delivery to brain tissue. Leafy green vegetables are naturally rich in dietary nitrates, which the body converts into nitric oxide through a series of biochemical steps. This process enhances endothelial function, improves vascular elasticity, and supports stable blood pressure. Better circulation means neurons receive consistent oxygen and glucose, both essential for producing energy and maintaining synaptic communication. Improved blood flow also assists in clearing metabolic waste products from the brain, including beta amyloid fragments that can accumulate and interfere with neural signaling. Efficient vascular function therefore supports both delivery and detoxification processes within brain tissue. Over years, maintaining flexible, responsive blood vessels reduces the risk of microvascular damage, silent strokes, and white matter lesions, all of which are associated with impaired cognitive performance. Consistent dietary habits that promote nitric oxide production strengthen the vascular network that underpins memory, learning, and overall brain resilience. The gut-brain connection is a powerful and complex communication network linking the digestive system to the central nervous system. This relationship operates through neural pathways, immune signaling, hormones, and microbial metabolites. At the center of this system is the gut microbiome, a vast community of trillions of bacteria that live primarily in the large intestine. These microorganisms are not passive passengers. They actively influence inflammation, neurotransmitter production, and even gene expression. What you eat directly shapes the composition and activity of this microbial ecosystem. Fiber found in leafy green vegetables plays a crucial role in supporting beneficial gut bacteria. Humans cannot digest fiber on their own, so it becomes fuel for microbes in the colon. When these bacteria ferment fiber, they produce short-chain fatty acids such as butyrate, acetate, and propionate. These compounds have anti-inflammatory properties and help maintain the integrity of the gut lining. A strong gut barrier prevents harmful substances from leaking into the bloodstream, which could otherwise trigger systemic inflammation that affects the brain. The gut microbiome also influences the production of neurotransmitters. Certain bacteria are involved in synthesizing or regulating serotonin, dopamine, and gamma-aminobutyric acid, all of which affect mood, cognition, and stress response. Disruptions in microbial balance, often caused by diets high in processed foods and low in fiber, can lead to increased inflammation and altered brain signaling. Chronic systemic inflammation is a known contributor to neurodegenerative diseases such as Alzheimer's disease. Signals travel bidirectionally along the vagus nerve, allowing the gut and brain to constantly exchange information. A healthier microbiome supports balanced immune responses and stable neural communication. By regularly consuming fiber-rich greens, individuals nourish beneficial bacteria, promote anti-inflammatory metabolites, and strengthen the gut barrier. Over time, this supportive microbial environment contributes to cognitive resilience and may reduce the biological conditions that accelerate memory decline. Oxidative stress damages neurons through a process often compared to biological rusting. It occurs when there is an imbalance between free radicals, highly reactive molecules generated during normal metabolism, and the body's ability to neutralize them with antioxidants. The brain is especially vulnerable to oxidative stress because it consumes large amounts of oxygen and contains abundant lipids that are easily oxidized. Over time, unchecked oxidative damage can impair cellular structures, disrupt communication between neurons, and accelerate cognitive decline. Free radicals can attack the membranes of brain cells, altering their fluidity and interfering with signal transmission. They can also damage mitochondrial DNA within neurons. Mitochondria are responsible for producing cellular energy, and when they become dysfunctional, neurons struggle to maintain normal function and repair processes. This energy deficit further increases the production of reactive oxygen species, creating a destructive feedback loop. Oxidative stress also promotes the aggregation of abnormal proteins in the brain, a feature commonly associated with neurodegenerative conditions such as Alzheimer's disease. Antioxidants act as stabilizers by donating electrons to free radicals, neutralizing them before they can cause harm. Leafy green vegetables are rich in antioxidants, including vitamin C, beta-carotene, lutein, and various polyphenols. These compounds work synergistically to reduce oxidative burden in brain tissue. Unlike isolated supplements, whole foods provide a complex matrix of protective molecules that interact in complementary ways. In addition to directly neutralizing free radicals, antioxidants can activate internal defense systems. Certain plant compounds stimulate the production of endogenous antioxidant enzymes such as superoxide dismutase and glutathione peroxidase, strengthening the brain's own resilience. Regular consumption of antioxidant-rich foods gradually lowers cumulative oxidative damage, preserving neuronal integrity and supporting clearer cognitive function over time. The consistent reduction of oxidative stress helps maintain synaptic plasticity, which is essential for learning and memory formation. Small daily habits create long-term protection because the brain responds to consistent patterns, not isolated actions. Cognitive decline develops gradually over years or decades, shaped by cumulative biological stressors such as inflammation, oxidative damage, vascular strain, and metabolic imbalance. In the same way, protection also accumulates slowly. When a person eats one serving of leafy greens each day, the effect may seem insignificant in the moment, but inside the body, subtle supportive processes are being reinforced repeatedly. Each daily serving provides vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, and phytonutrients that reduce inflammation, improve blood flow, and neutralize free radicals. These benefits are not temporary spikes, they build upon one another. For example, steady intake of folate helps maintain balanced homocysteine levels over time, reducing stress on blood vessels that supply the brain. Regular consumption of lutein allows gradual accumulation in neural tissue, supporting memory and processing speed. Continuous dietary nitrates help sustain nitric oxide production, maintaining vascular flexibility flexibility and consistent cerebral circulation. Research on dietary patterns, including approaches linked to lower rates of neurodegenerative diseases such as Alzheimer's disease, shows that even moderate adherence produces measurable differences in cognitive aging. The protective effect does not require perfection. It requires repetition. Biological systems adapt to what they experience most frequently. When protective nutrients are supplied daily, gene expression, immune responses, and metabolic pathways gradually shift toward resilience rather than degeneration. Habits also influence behavior patterns beyond nutrition. Choosing greens daily often correlates with other supportive actions such as better hydration, balanced meals, and mindful eating. These reinforcing behaviors create a broader environment that favors brain health. Over years, thousands of small, consistent choices shape the structural and functional trajectory of the brain. What appears minor on a single day becomes powerful when multiplied across decades of living. In conclusion, protecting your brain is not about waiting for a breakthrough drug or searching for a miracle solution. It is about understanding that your daily choices shape your cognitive future. Dementia does not appear overnight. It develops slowly through years of accumulated inflammation, oxidative stress, vascular strain, and cellular damage. In the same way, protection is built gradually through consistent nourishment. Something as simple as eating leafy green vegetables every day can activate powerful biological systems that defend your neurons, improve blood flow, reduce inflammation, and strengthen the gut-brain connection. Research linked to conditions such as Alzheimer's disease shows that steady adherence to brain-supportive dietary patterns can significantly reduce risk. The message is both hopeful and empowering. Your brain is responsive, adaptable, and influenced by what you place on your plate each day. Small, intentional habits repeated over time can shift the trajectory of your cognitive health in a meaningful way. Thank you for your time, your attention, and your commitment to learning how to protect one of your most valuable organs. I wish you strength, clarity, and vibrant brain health in the years ahead. Good luck on your journey toward a sharper, healthier future.